Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today it is that time of the year, everybody. Cricket Captain 2023 has arrived once again. Another year for the Cricket Captain games. Today we're going to be going over all of the release updates, what is going on with the game, because the trailer just dropped and it has unveiled a couple of interesting features into the game which I did not expect to see. Cricket Captain 2023 is going to be releasing on the 13th of June 2023, and of course, because I'm in New Zealand, it actually means it's the 14th at midnight for me. It is literally about to be out right now on Steam. For iOS, Android, and Mac users, it will be out in 2 days' time on the 15th of June, with the Switch aimed for a June release as well, pending Nintendo and its approval. They've done that ahead of time, so who knows whether it actually went across the line or not. Let's get into the features, because there are some interesting features in this game, because obviously the Childish Things team is from England, so a lot of it has been inspired by Bazball. There is a Bazball inspired aggression system in this game now, which basically in a nutshell means that the batting ability and natural aggression is going to be used instead of match type aggression, if that makes sense. So instead of aggression being tied to each match type for a player, it's kind of based around their batting and natural aggression overall, as opposed to for each individual format. With the idea of Bazball, I guess, if you're an aggressive player, then you're going to play in test matches in an aggressive way. At least that's the theory, I guess, of Bazball in general. So that's going to be a massive feature to the game. How it actually works will be very intriguing to see. They've tweaked form because you can actually see who the form was against. You can see that obviously we've always been able to see the different types of where the form has come from, whether it's a T20 match, a test match, a one-day match, etc. But now we can actually see the exact opposition that innings was scored against, which is actually really useful to know. A lot of times it just shows general T20 games, you know, like which competition was that, and you'd have to dig a little bit deeper to find it. But now it actually shows you up front which team that player got the runs against. Very, very much like that tweak. They've said historical data is available for player rankings, so I wonder if that's like if you can see, for example, if James Anderson becomes the best bowler ever rated in the whole cricket, you know, universe, if you will, or maybe you can beat Don Bradman's batting, you know, rating that he once managed to acquire at his career best type thing. Wicket keepers have got a massive update in this game as well, because the wicket keeping ability matters, because it now shows keeper outfield catches, keeper buys conceded. It shows greater accuracy for their keeping ability. It basically just means that picking a better keeper is actually more essential than it's ever been before, because previously if you just had a full-time keeper, you just chuck them in, they'd do, you know, they might drop a few, but they'll catch most of them. It's pretty generalized. But now it's like, well, Folks is a better keeper than Bairstow. Maybe it's worth picking Folks over Bairstow. Maybe, because that's been the debate for England obviously recently. So wicket keeping ability matters. Big feature in this game. Excited for that one, because I'm a big fan of being able to pick these keepers who are good keepers, even if their batting struggles a little bit more, but if they catch more, ultimately they bring the value that they need to as a wicketkeeper. Obviously, all the domestic systems have been updated. I think it goes without saying every single year they kind of update all the domestic systems. That includes India, that includes the SA20. So the new T20 league in South Africa has been added and I guess fully updated and all that stuff. We also have a small update with the stadiums. They've actually added Perth Stadium into the game as a stadium model, which is cool to see. So if you're from Perth and you've ever played at Perth Stadium, there you go. Now it's in the game. Get around that. Very excited for that. Obviously the rules and regulations and all that have been updated to stay up to date with whatever current domestic rules and formats that there are across all the domestic systems in the game. I don't think they've added any new domestic systems other than the ones that they've got. They have improved player generation. It says improved player generation, rebalanced with focus on player aggression. I guess again that ties back into Bazball. Just a minor tweak there, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And you'll probably see from the Cricket Captain 2023 trailer that the whole color scheme's changed. It was all about green for the past 2 or 3 years, or even longer than that. Predominantly green. Back in the day, for the older Cricket Captain games, they were all blue. They were all a really different shade of blue. They've actually gone back to that a little bit this year with that dark shade, dark navy blue coming into the game, which is just a bit of a change up. I really do like it because it just keeps the game fresh and different. Green's actually my favorite color, so I'd rather have a green one, but to see a different blue, I don't mind it. And again, probably a throwback to the older games as well. Don't mind it at all. One of the biggest features in the game was actually just done in one day, I believe. The Asia trophy has been added to this game. Now, I've just double checked on the international player rankings. It states that it's been added with historical data. All-rounders in mind have now been added to the game, so you can see who the number one all-rounder is in the world now, and it's been improved massively. It's been changed. I actually liked the previous system that they had. It was based on the last time you played a country, so home versus away versus everyone. So if you won that series, you got 2 points. If you drew it, you got 1. If you lost it, you got none. They have changed it, for better or worse. I don't actually know. It's probably going to be easier to hit number 1, put it that way, which is good and bad, I suppose, depending on how much you play this game, to be based on matches played over the last 4 years. With the cycle resetting in May, you get a 1-point bonus for a test series win. That's what it says. It actually states here that the Asia Trophy, to go back to this for a moment, it's available in tournament and career mode. So if you just play an Indian or, Bangladesh career mode, it will come up in your career modes as you go along. So you don't have to worry about whether it's going to be included in that or not, because it definitely will be. There are new kits added into the game. It says international and Australian T20 kits have been added. So I guess the Big Bash kits have been changed and the international kits have all been changed, which is good to see, because sometimes the New Zealand kits were a little bit out of date, but it's good to see that that's not going to be the case in this game. So that's awesome. They've added historical keeper and outfield stats. So you can actually see, I guess, who the best slips, or who the best catchers of all time are, who's conceded the most buys, and all those wicketkeeper and outfield stats are. You can all see that sort of stuff in the game now. That's definitely a nice upgrade for sure. Speaking of a nice upgrade, the one thing I did notice from the trailer, at around 30 seconds in the trailer, there's a clip of, I think this is Imam Haq going for, that's right, a switch hit in the game. We've never seen anything like this in Cricket Captain before. They normally always play traditional sweeps, drives, pulls, cuts, you name it. But this time, Imam Haq has pulled out what is obviously a switch hit. No, it's actually a reverse sweep, I suppose, because he starts left-handed and still ends up left-handed, but he just makes it look kind of like a switch hit, even though I guess it's a reverse sweep. But nonetheless, it's a reverse sweep. So that's cool to see a new batting animation in the game. I haven't seen any others from the trailer so far, so I'm presuming that's probably the only one. Even if that's the case, it's awesome to see that they at least added one new shot into this game to make it just a little bit different from all the other previous Cricket Captain games. So the real question is, what is my final take on this game? What's the summary? Well, a lot of people have been asking for DRS. We didn't get that. Now, to be fair, most decisions are right, and if they're wrong, oh well, it is what it is. I wouldn't really use the DRS that much in the game anyways, so that's not a problem. No graphics update. And again, I personally don't care that much about a graphics update. It'd be nice, it'd be great, but the fact that it hasn't got no graphics update, it doesn't bug me. What bugs me the most, no women's cricket for me is a big miss. I mean, I understand that they've been struggling with the player models for the past couple of years to get women's cricket in, so that's obviously disappointing not to have this edition of the game for sure. That's for me probably the biggest miss of this game for me, but I understand why they can't get it in. I'm sure we'll see it in future editions to come. I'm sure they're working on that as we go along. There is a lot more pluses than I expected for this game though, for sure. The wicketkeepers mattering, the wicketkeepers stats making wicketkeepers more useful and realistic. Not every keeper is the same. There are some good keepers, there are some great keepers, and there's some pretty average keepers, and it should be considered when you go to select your keeper every year how good of a keeper they actually are on top of the runs they score. So that 100% is a big addition. The reverse sweep, I know it's just one shot, one simple shot added to the game. Massive addition for me. We've not seen a new shot added to this game in probably the last 5 years, so that one shot for me is a big addition in itself. Enough said to see more reverse sweeps in the future, and maybe 1 or 2 shots hidden in the game somewhere. That would be awesome to see. The form tweak in terms of the charts to show which opposition those runs or wickets were taken against, that is a big plus for me for this game. I'm really going to enjoy that, I think, moving forwards. And the rankings, much easier to get to number 1. I mean, I did like the brutal climb, but much easier, much more realistic, because that's kind of how it actually works in real life with the past 4 years stuff. And it makes sense because you might wait 6 to 8 years to tour a country and you lose 2 points and you can't get them back because you don't play them. Taking into account the last 4 years of games is much easier to get good or to be the best in versus the last 6 to 8 years sometimes, because you don't play a couple of teams for a long time. So that's awesome to see. Overall, I'm really excited for this game. I have actually decided, at least for now, I think I've got an idea of what save I'm going to do, and I'm going to confirm right now, as this video comes to a close, that we're going to do a West Indian domestic career mode on top of the fact that we're going to control West Indies. We're going to control West Indies, do the domestic stuff, see how that goes. Definitely check out the stream tomorrow, which is going to be happening for the game launch. We're going to do a game launch stream, play as much of the first year as I can, probably only a few games, but we'll see how we go. Going to be checking it out. I can't wait to get stuck into the game, and thank you to Garth McDougall. Garth McDougall is a big inspiration behind this career mode. I thought finally I should do a West Indian career mode because West Indies are really struggling in real life at the moment. I do feel like this is definitely a good career mode idea. I'm excited to see how this is going to flesh out into a stream series and then into a full video series after that. And until the release, let me know your thoughts on the features and the new game and what career mode you're going to be playing for this game down in the comments. I'll see you all in tomorrow's stream, and as always, take care everyone.